Now let's break up the barrel a little bit more with some sloping type of detail. So I want to create kind of a sloping kind of piece that's going to come out, blend in right up here, but then come out right here and kind of extend through this line coming through the side of the gun. And so we need to have edge loops there. So let's use our insert edge loop tool. Let's use multiple edge loops, and we can drop these in. And we can begin to scale this. Now this works because this is a straight line. If this was curved, we wouldn't be able to do it quite this easily, but I'll go ahead and just drop this in kind of where we want it on the side there. And you can see it's only doing it on the one side, so we'll have to mirror this detail over once we get to that point. So now we need to define the start and end. Now I want it to start kind of right up in here, but then I want it to end kind of somewhere in here, so there's a little bit of a gap. So back to our insert edge loop tool we go, reset the tool, and I'll just define where I want it to stop, kind of right in here. All right. Now if I want it to be a straight slope, then having no resolution in here is fine. If I want to have a little bit more of a curve, then I'll want to have a little bit more resolution. Also, I'm going to go ahead and add the lines for the one on the top. So I know I want it to end kind of right in front of this piece here. And I want it to slope a little bit, so I want to actually have a few more lines in there. So let's add a couple. All right. So let's go ahead and let's actually do the side one first, and then we'll mirror it and then do the top one. So let's grab these, and we're going to do these in a very similar way to the way we did the piece on the top of the cylinder. So we'll extrude this out, we'll add the thickness. All right, now instead of rotating it, which we could do, this is low enough resolution, or I can get this to be as thick as I want to get it, and then I can just take the edges and I'll select this edge, and let's actually select them all at this point. I'm going to move them back a little bit. I'll deselect this one. Move the rest back. Same thing here and here. Okay. And then I can just, I know I want this one to eventually be merged back in. And so I can kind of use these to figure out how I want this to blend out into the, so I'll give it just a little bit of a sloping curve. Let's merge these points together. So the merge vertex tool. I'll merge those 2 points and those two. And then we can kind of hit 3 on our keyboard to kind of smooth this out. I want it to be a little bit more gradual. So I'm going to take this and move it back in just a little bit. So we get something like that. All right. And now I want to harden up the kind of the squareness of it a little bit. And so let's use our insert edge loop tool to kind of tighten that up. And we'll put one here and one here. So that should really tighten that up. Okay. Now you can see where you get this sort of slope right here. That comes from the fact that we don't have one on either side of it. So we can go ahead and add one right in here. And you can see how that really tightens things up. Okay. Now if we want to split this in half, we can use our insert edge loop tool. And again, go back and use multiple edge loops. And I just want to set this to 1. There we go. Let's go ahead and delete that side. We'll use mirror geometry. We want to go in the negative X direction. Make sure to check our threshold. You can see here, I've been doing that, nothing's happened, but this time it actually helped. So make sure to show that. You can see when we mirror this over, these points are merged and they really shouldn't be. So if we take this merge threshold down to a lower value, that lets it know that, you know, if those points are so close or a certain distance apart, we don't want to merge them. All right. Now for the one on the top, we want to kind of extend this out, have this kind of ramp come down, so we can take this line and let's go ahead and bevel this. So we'll do a little bit of a bevel. Kind of pull this out a little bit. I want it to be kind of fairly wide. And then let's just do the same thing here. We'll select these. We'll go ahead and extrude them up. Okay, kind of pull this up a little bit. And then we'll just take these edges and use those to define the curve until it comes kind of down back into the geometry here. So we'll go to our merge vertex tool, merge those 2 points together, merge those 2 points, and probably need to take this down a little bit closer already. Bring this down. You can see we get the same thing, something really, really soft. So insert edge loop tool, we'll fix that right up. So we'll add another edge loop right in here. We need to turn off our multiple. Go ahead and add an edge loop right in there. And then if we really want to tighten this up, we can do that on all sides here. And then we smooth it. We get a nice sort of ramp shape. And if you want to make that a bit taller, you can do that too. You can tighten it up as well. So that just gives us a little bit more of a kind of a cool shape there on the sides of our barrel. So in the next lesson, let's go ahead and add a little bit of detail on the inside of the barrel. It's just kind of an open, gaping maw right there. We need to create something that looks kind of interesting on the inside of the barrel. So let's go ahead and do that next.